Welcome back. What better way to have on a weekend than to question everything about your life and making sure that every single door and window is locked in your house? Because we're about to see some more magical girls and exactly what they get up to and how much they're willing to be captured. Maybe the evil isn't so evil after all. They have a little common ground. At least that's what one of them is thinking. How long before it spreads between the rest of them? To find out, we're going to have to watch more, which also means I'm going to have to do a hell of a lot of censoring and question everything about my identity. But if you enjoy magical girls and clearing your browser history, get ready, because we need to start the episode. I was not ready. I severely hope that's water. I feel like we've missed quite a large section of the battle, though. Now, there's other shows and mediums where I've seen that, slime can cause some disintegration and whatnot. And it is actually slime. Okay, cool. So I wondered if that was the route it was going, but the face of humiliation and yet a bit of anger. What was that reverberation in the vroom? Huh? She has places to be after all. Luckily for them, we'll just have to postpone this. It's always the way, isn't it? The enemy, the big bad, has the upper hand, and for some extraordinary reason just has to put things on hold. You know what? I left the oven on, I'll be back in a moment. I do wonder how much humiliation and stuff they're willing to put up with before they start to calling big guns or a change of tact. And also, how awkward will school be once the perception alteration stops, or identities get noticed, etc. This is such a curious show, and much like every other show of its ilk where it's a little more racy, the world behind it is actually interesting. What the hell is going on with the battle between good and evil and the possibly fabricated story for the mascot? Hang on, you're turning down her offer or request for sushi? Yes, I don't think it's the food choice that was the issue. Ah. Her head has been in other places. There's times like that where I'm glad I never actually had to study, but then again, I never got pulled into these battles of magical whims. Now that is a threat and a half. No easy rides anymore. Proper damage will be done if she doesn't start scoring high. Come and get me, please. I mean, a way to try and call her out and whatnot, sure. But also, I don't believe that a play park like this is the best. Why do all of these kids have smartphones? Is that responsible? Well, I'm not a parent, so who am I to judge? And she can't just escape. Yeah. The world is less important than her collection. Understanding. That's nice. Ah. Yes, it's definitely the fighting that is the issue here. It's not the magical girl collection that needs to be removed. Suddenly, from just behind the bushes. Go find some cover. What the hell is that? Scissors. 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 I like how even she's like, hang on, oh. Thank God for the likes of inverted gravity, apparently. But even she was confused. Like, hang on, how well did that work? Where are these smartphones now when you need them? Yeah, the outfits and whatnot need to be a little more sturdy. But schoolwork comes first. So, do you think she's gonna try that call-out method again? If she gets into the... What's on her mind? If one of the main members of the magical girls gets off on public humiliation, we've got trouble. Get your hand out of there. Both the drawer and what I presume comes later. Put that fear of her beloved collection to use then. Is there a way to help? Well, you're screwed anyway. Why not just enjoy the ride? Yeah. Trap we all fall in. Oh, yep. Couple did bring their phones this time. They know what's coming. And they didn't exactly have a thorough conversation the first time. Did she bring more craftware? Did she come prepared this time? No, she didn't. It appears as though, magical barriers and clothing... I don't need to censor it after all. Well, I'm not sure, actually. Is that better? I think she won the battle. How indecent. And this is meant to be tasteful. Well, I guess better than just standing there in the birthday suit, but still. Apparently not. I mean... The first time round, she still had the gloves and whatnot, so do they not count? You know, if this is the case, why not she have a few extra spares, you know, more than just covering the important parts, and have bigger stickers? Actually having a bit of hand-to-hand combat. And if she can, yeah, continue fighting without fear of being seen and whatnot, definitely have the upper hand. What is that sticker there? That's too much for her. Yeah. Where's this going? And just like that, half the city was razed in an instant. At least she has an extra week to study with school being closed. Not so, not so permanent, those fasty things, right? Someone won't need to reach into the desk drawer tonight. Certain questions need to be answered. Explain in excruciating detail. And I was about to say, if they can just go transform back into their school kids and whatnot, you won't have to put up with the issues of being naked in public. But that would also kind of depends on your definition of defeat. Transform back into the school uniform so they're not naked, but, you know, then they'll find out their identities. Why did that stay out? Do your best. Is there an easy way out here? Does she have a secret? Excuse me. A secret behind it. And just like that, her collection was safe for another day. But, yeah, what was the trick here for those perfect scores? She feeling a little unfulfilled, not having a full battle. She, doesn't cook at home? Did they... Maybe you should burn down the convenience store. That's what magical girls do, right? Why don't they ask if she's got any spare utensils they can borrow? She's been following her intently. She has plans. Yeah. Hopefully eat with you, yes. She is very protective of her property. Cat food. And what did she just come up with by this conversation? Hun. trying to cause a little discontentment here. What, you want to fight about it? I know she was trying to cause a stink considering her issues with the convenience store. There's no battle here. Considering her test scores, does she really want to? Great vocabulary there. This is exactly how a magical girl should act, by the way. I think, yeah, the photo shoot, well, I guess they are kind of public role models and whatnot. Yeah, the convenience store and many other little trivialities. The second life as magical girls and the multiple fights that only end halfway, not being played out to their full conclusion, you would get a little uppity. You don't want to put too much trust in those stories. How many groups of magical girls are there? Either I read that headline wrong, or there's several contingencies of magical girls and we're just following this one in this particular area. Because if there's loads of those mascots, like we saw in the story, they've each got their own little camaraderie of magical beings. Busy managing your other magical girl. So yes, okay. The others, though, they need all the help they can get. I would laugh so much if this is just the evil one. It's just some face paint and whatnot, manipulating two groups to fight each other for their own amusement. But the area immediately out of the force field? Yeah. Oh well, they've got to fend for themselves. And is that magical force field and the like going to be useful later? True. Struck something with her car. Well, they're visible to everyone else and physically able to be destroyed by just vehicles. I guess it was actually useful for future, just not in the way that I thought. That's some good subversion there. She's got the scoop on early information. Well, now we've that fort was ripped into, seeing them both in the same place at the same time. Well, good to see their rivalry is as alive as ever. She'll end up chipping a tooth if she clenches her jaws any tighter. What shape would be the best for munitions like that? Beetle grenades. I mean, inventive. I kind of like it. Able to change your trajectories and whatnot. What about from below? Unless she's got a few new ideas. Smokescreen? While she's constantly having to defend. I feel as though her switch is going to be flipped soon, just in a... It does look awesome, though. How long can she hold it out for? Well, offense is the best defense after all. And while you celebrate, you get the hell out of there. Yep. At least you might be able to study now. Meaning, being able to let go once in a while. Yeah, I said about the smoke screen, didn't I? The sponsors can't get angry at what they can't see. And to be fair, the others get to have pseudo-weaponry, so why can't she? She's smiling a lot, just you don't want to know why. This is just a battle of attrition to see if they can hold out before she runs out of mana. Seeing her squirm and... yeah. That's a good face. That's a good face as well. Are you even trying? One of your team here might need a little extra training. They've used up far too much energy today. Bit weak at the knees for some reason. You know, the idea of a magical girl that is also a bit temperamental, quick to anger, probably not the best choice for the position. And then being constantly told that the powers that they do have aren't suitable for the position. You know, you got to keep up the image and whatnot. Although I would think the public would be just as excited for giant fists of danger than as the other weaponry. I think the figurines would sell quite well as well. And I really didn't expect the storyline of sponsors and keeping on the right side of the media to really take centre stage for what the Tresmagia are actually thinking about. Neru Alice in Wonderland. Oh dear. For the next episode, I'm very scared to see what the Queen of Hearts is like, or anything to do with a rabbit after all. But this is once again an episode where schoolwork and everything takes centre stage. Trying to maintain 2 lives at once is tiring work. I'm having trouble just with 1. The constant issue on the horizon, the fact that Utena has a little bit of a brain problem. She doesn't do braining very well. And that really tracks, considering just whispered away into this life of magical girls and fetishes. What do I do? No real guidance at all, just start whipping things. I'm sure you'll work it out from there. She has good instincts, just when it comes to pen and paper, they're not really the questions that get asked on a school test. Luckily. Who knew that this entire story will turn into a lesson for us all on moderation? Don't take your habits and personal kinks too far. Don't let it start interfering with your daily lives. Lest you have to throw away your figurine collection. Which really wouldn't be that big of a deal to me. Unless it's Warhammer. I've got a lot of money in that. Yeah, that would be an issue. And how many times are they just going to reuse the same concepts and ideas? The plant. How many episodes has the plant been? Yeah, we're on episode 4 and it's been in 3 of them. If not all 4. Go on, think of a new way of bringing stuff to life. Can't just have constant tentacles and restriction. I mean, you can, but... And really, we all know that it is a fair fight now. 2-on-2 battles. With just someone who's there along for the ride. Which ride? You can work out for yourself. This entire story, like I said, there's certain aspects of it which I'm enjoying and I want to know more of, like the world. Why is there so many magical girls? Why are these mascots? Where do they come from? Why are people just going along with it? Why is no one questioning, hang on the fuck? Why are there random evil magical girls that are causing these very questionable and insipid scenes out in public? And where are the police during all of this? And I guess the biggest question, do the sushi restaurants around here have a dress code? Just asking for reasons. They're definitely going to need to know that in the future, considering... But I do like the idea that, they're in school together, they're all they're kind of acquaintances, not friends, but still. So there could be a sudden magical girl fight immediately, and they've got to try and protect their classmates, which also happens to be one of them. And so, hang on, Utena's missing. Oh no, we have to go find her, while also fighting her without knowing that it's her, because, perception. Or maybe they'll just leave the school out of it, because, that opens up a whole bag of trickery and court cases. For once, I would laugh my arse off if we did just have sudden... Right, now you got to actually pay for your crimes. Off to jail with you. Public indecency and all that. But another episode in the bag, and one that we can look back on fondly. Make sure to hide any and all physical material. As I said before this episode, erase your browser history, and remember to clear your cache. Don't want to forget that step. And I hope we can continue on this adventure of self-discovery. As long as it stays somewhat above board and I don't have to explain myself to the authorities. If you want to help support the channel a little more, consider subscribing. If you want to make sure not to miss out any future uploads, maybe jump onto my Discord as well for notifications. But right now, if there's anything you want to get off your chest, sticky pack clothing or otherwise, let me know down in the comments section, maybe even leave a like in the video. But for now, get yourselves some rest. Need to top up for the next episode after all. If you want to help my channel avoid the punishment for not studying, consider joining onto my Patreon, because thanks to the likes of Sal, AegisTR, Darky26, Guado, Kite, Reds Racer, Ultra Pouring, Wolfie Sensei, Zug and everyone else, I've managed to avoid the brunt of it. Although maybe my channel is the punishment.